Headline News.
Well, Jimmy Garoppolo's return was short-lived against the Dolphins. He was benched for C.J. Beathard after a disastrous first half. He completed 7 of 17 passes for 77 yards and threw 2 interceptions. But Kyle Shanahan said that after the game, Garoppolo was only taken out because he didn't look 100% coming back from the ankle injury.
Just the way the whole game was going. I mean, just kind of watching how we were playing as a whole, how he was playing. You could tell he was affected by his ankle. I mean, you can ask him more when he gets in, but I know he doesn't normally throw the ball that way, and I think he was struggling a little bit because of it and the way the game was going, that I was going to keep putting him in those positions and knowing we were going to have to throw it a lot to come back.
And that's what Trent Dilfer said. Trent thinks it was Kyle Shanahan who said, he's just not right. I got to get him out of there. He does. It's funny because when I watched the game, they had referenced it a couple times, and as I looked at some of the video, he's throwing flat-footed. He's not driving the ball. Watch. He's like front-legging it, meaning there's some pain potential.
His feet don't look right, and he had a bad game. C.J. Beathard didn't do much better, 9 of 18 for 94 yards and 1 touchdown. I think also the Dolphins' defense was just kind of doing whatever they wanted to, and the momentum was heading that way anyway. I think we probably shouldn't overreact too much to this game.
Right.
He is coming off an ankle injury. I'm going to give Jimmy Garoppolo a couple more of these situations, but I just think after the Super Bowl, there was a ridiculous overreaction to what Jimmy Garoppolo is. Probably before the Super Bowl, there was too much of a reaction to what he was as far as good as he is as well. Like, you're not your best, you're not your worst. So what is Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
And he does rely on Kyle Shanahan, and he is in a good situation. They're not as good as they were last year. They have major injuries. I just think, we just need to come back down to the level with San Francisco.
That's fair.
Particularly for this season. And Jimmy Garoppolo is injured. Like, that was a terrible showing, obviously, and maybe he took him out because his ankle wasn't right, or maybe he's just not right altogether.
Right.
I'm going to lean towards it was probably had to do with his ankle. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 22 of 28, 350 yards.
He looked great.
And 3 touchdowns. So the Browns took on the Colts' #1 defense and came out with a 32-23 victory.
I thought the Browns' first half, they were flawless. I thought Baker was great in the first half.
I'm not going to overreact, but I like what the Browns are doing. And I thought that this game was everyone was kind of dismissing the Cowboys win because everyone felt like the Cowboys are not that good. This was the game to win for me. Like, the Colts defense is not a game. Now, I understand Phillip Rivers is not what he was, and that shouldn't be shocking to anybody. But
you know what's funny about this game? The Colts didn't have their left tackler, Darius Leonard. And I went up and saw a stat Saturday morning. The Colts without their left tackle are not the same football team. I would not have bet it because I got a bunch of people saying, do you know Darius Leonard's out and Anthony Costanzo, the left tackle's out? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I don't know. And I'm not taking anything away from Cleveland. I thought they played a great first half of football. But I thought Cleveland got a tad injury break in that game, just a little injury break. Am I being unfair? Am I being too? It just seemed like.
I'm also hesitant with the Browns because in the past 20 years of Browns football would make us not hesitant. But I love what they did in the offseason, and it is clearly paying off. And you can only beat the teams that are on your schedule.
Yes.
And the Colts defense is not a game. So the offense put up the most points in the Colts so far this season. Cleveland's defense was obviously able to pick up Phillip Rivers twice and keep him out of the end zone. And with this win, the Browns moved to 4-1 for the first time since 1994. That year, Bill Belichick was the head coach and Nick Saban was the defensive coordinator, and the team won a playoff game. So I think this is a playoff team the way that they're playing right now. Baker Mayfield went for x-rays on his ribs after the win, but they came back negative. So he was asked if he was going to play next weekend, and he said, oh, yeah, mama didn't raise no wuss.
Anthony Costanzo for the Colts, who, by the way, I was in a restaurant a year ago, and he walked in. He's a large man. He's the one. The Colts struggle without him. I thought, what's funny about Baker? I got the best of Baker in the first half and more Baker issues in the second, where he started ad-libbing a little bit in the second half and moving around. But his first half of football, I was like, all right, this is the Baker that everybody tells me is going to happen every week.
I mean, you don't have to play perfect. Just got to get the win.
That's right.
And I thought this was a significant win for the Browns. Finally, LeBron won his 4th NBA title and 4th NBA Finals MVP last night at the age of 35.
Amazing.
And another old guy, Tom Brady, congratulated him on the accomplishment. LeBron's not really old, I'm joking. Taking a little jab at himself, too. So he has the edit from, obviously, this last Thursday night game where he thought it was 4th down and he's holding up the 4. He posted a picture of LeBron's face, photoshopped onto his body, holding up the 4 fingers with the caption, "Congrats to my brother, King James, on winning his 4th championship. Not bad for a washed-up old guy."
I still don't understand how LeBron James is polarizing. I don't get that.
You know, I don't think he was polarizing until he had the decision and went to Miami.
Then why do we love Kevin Durant? Everybody loves Kevin Durant. He went and chose a better team.
Well, LeBron is a trailblazer in that sense, in that he kind of started the mobility.
Why do we love
wave.
Kawhi Leonard moves around and went to it? I mean, everybody else is moving around.
Okay. LeBron James is the best player in the NBA.
Easily.
Right? When you're the best, you get criticized more.
It's ridiculous.
And that's just the way it goes. That's the price you have to pay. I don't think that the criticism he got when he went to Miami was fair. Granted, I benefited from that decision, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. Thought the overreaction to the decision was ridiculous. And, of course, the press conference with the Miami Heat, not 1, not 2, not 3, made him even more polarizing. Since then, I don't know what you can say
Look at J.R.
to be critical of what LeBron has done unless you just frankly don't like LeBron. And listen, my Heat just lost to LeBron. I can respect the fact that he's the greatest player in the NBA and they had an incredible run.
Yeah.
And what he's done is incredible.
How about J.R. Smith? Nobody parties like J.R. Smith. He had his shirt off before the game was over. I mean, even LeBron just laughing. Somebody told me J.R. Smith loves golf. Every time he goes on the road, he takes his sticks. I was talking to somebody.
He probably got a lot of golfing done then.
Somebody
Orlando.
told me, they're like, J.R. Smith lives for golf. He plays it every day during the season.
Are you still golfing?
Yeah, not as much because, I'm very busy. Worked a labor-intensive fall. Joey with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
The 3-word game on a Monday, every NFL game described in 3 succinct words. The pandemic has led to an astounding increase in unemployment benefits filed across the country and claimed by the bad guys. Sadly, con artists are taking advantage of this and have filed tens of thousands of fraudulent unemployment claims using consumers' identities. The FTC has confirmed that due in large part the high volume of benefits and fraud cases, it's now the #1 spot for fraud in America. Every day we put our information at risk on the internet, and that's where identity theft happens. LifeLock detects it. When they do, since you've been compromised, they send you from their domestic agents immediate alerts. Nobody prevents all identity theft, but LifeLock can see stuff you'd miss and solve problems you can't. If you join LifeLock now, you can save up to 25% in your first year by using the promo code HERD, H-E-R-D. Go to LifeLock.com, code HERD, or call 1-800-LifeLock. 25% off LifeLock your first year.